time, we know you'll get stuck on us. Let's go. Welcome, HoneyPots! And today on Grim, we are talking about EPIK. Or actually, I am talking about EPIK because Lily rolled out. So EPIK is the English program in Korea. And this is a teaching program. It is sponsored by the Korean government. So you know, it's a pretty good program, or at least that your money's gonna come. So, let's go. Who is eligible for this program? So you have to be from one of the 7 English-speaking nations, and that is Australia, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, UK, South Africa, and a special one was added, I believe 2 or 3 years ago, and that is Indian. So if you're a citizen of India, you can teach in Korea with a teacher's license. You actually would have to get more information about how to do it through the program. So on their website, they say to email them. So just go there, look at eligibility, and then you will see the email there. Everyone else, you need a bachelor's degree. So this bachelor's degree can be in any subject, actually. However, if it's a bachelor's degree in any major or field that's not specialized in teaching, then you need a TESOL, or CELTA certification. And I will tell you that you can actually get a very inexpensive one on the website Groupon.com, Groupon.com, not sponsored, but that site has very good discounts. I actually originally paid about nearly $300 for my certification. And I wish I wouldn't have because I actually did see the Groupon price, but it was recommended by another YouTuber. And I was like, oh, well, if they did it, maybe I should do this. Nope, exactly the same thing. Actually, the one that I paid for last year, I paid $25 on Groupon for, I believe it's a TEFL certification. And it actually is way more information. And I'm doing like a 160-hour one. So, I'm just like, wow, I paid way less and I'm getting so much more information than what I did prior. So, yeah, I'm really liking that one. So that is an option. And then if you do have a teaching license or a certificate, a bachelor's in education, master's in education, or you major in teaching, TESOL, second language studies, or any other education-focused major, including physical education, math education, and others. So, you're not required to get that TESOL certification if you already have that, which this was not the same when I first applied. Back in 2000, and I actually applied in 2013, and I came to teach with EPIK in 2014. So other requirements is you need to be mentally and physically healthy. It's very important. Don't come here if you have anger issues or you can't control your thoughts and you have or just really bad medical issues, because it is going to be tough to get time off to go to a doctor. A lot of the doctor's offices, like major hospitals, close before you get off of work, because usually it's 9 to 5 or 9 to 6. So they usually close before you get off of work. And if you need some type of major medical procedure, you're not going to easily be able to go, just because, they don't really have that many vacation days. I believe it's like 22 days plus Korean holidays or something like that. It's been a long time. So they actually changed their law or their vacation time recently. So I don't know what it is anymore. As I said, 2014. So my time was a bit different. But I do have friends who still teach with EPIK. So I do know that it's still a great program. So you have to have a good command of the English language. And I will go back to the eligibility because there are people whose countries or areas may not be, English may not be the prominent language. And if you are from one of those areas, like maybe in South Africa or in Canada, then you have to provide proof that you, from your school, that from 7th grade through university, your classes were conducted in English. So you just have to get a letter from your school saying that it was in English and submit it with your initial application for you to be able to be eligible. And I think they added that because actually at my orientation, there were some ladies from South Africa and no one could truly understand them. Like the other people from South Africa, of course, but the rest of us, you know, they spoke and we were all looking around like, what are they saying? What was that? So yeah, actually some of them lost their jobs because if your accent is too heavy and even the other native English speakers can't comprehend what you're saying, then how are the students going to be able to? So you have to also consider that. And if you say, well, I'm fluent in English, you know, I've been learning English my whole life, you know, I speak English with my parents, you know, you have to think, record yourself and see how that sounds back, or have somebody else listen to it and say, oh, hey, can you listen to this person? Don't even say it to you. Oh, can you listen to this person speaking? Does it sound okay in English? You know, do that to someone else that you know is good in English and see what they say, you know, without saying it to you. See what they say, and then you'll know for sure. So you need to have the ability and willingness to adapt to Korean culture and life. That is a given, and that is very important because you know, you need to be able to go with the punches, roll with the punches, as they say, because, yeah, in Korea, lots of things happen last minute. And some things may really make you crazy because you will not hear about it because they have a hierarchy system. So something is told at the top, then it trickles down to that person, trickles down to that person, and it's supposed to trickle to you. But sometimes it gets lost in there because they're doing other chatter, and you never get that information until the last minute or until the next day, and you walk into the school and no one's there. Fun. So yes, just keep your eyes and ears open, you know, ask if, you know, maybe you can ask when you first get at your school, you know, hey, excuse me, can I get a calendar of any special events that are coming up? You know, you can do that. So how long is your contract for? So the contract length is for 1 year, a total of 52 weeks, and you can renew your contract with a mutual agreement between your school and the Metropolitan Office of Education or Provincial Office of Education and the EPIK teacher. So that is a lot. So your school, and then the actual office in the area, because they may be thinking of like, hey, I'm going to get rid of this program. And you're like, no, like I really want to teach at the school again. But if they're getting rid of the program, then of course you're not going to be able to teach there. So as teachers are hired biannually, like early contract terminations are so bad. And the students won't have an EPIK teacher until the next intake time. So it says like, just don't apply if you can't complete the year. And then EPIK teachers work 8 hours per day, 5 days a week. They don't work Saturdays and Sundays or Korean holidays, which is about 14 days in a year. Actually, a little bit more now because the government changed it. And then the total instruction hours don't exceed 22 hours per week, which is great, unless you're requested by the Metropolitan Office of Education or your Provincial Office of Education or the school, and then you'll be compensated for overtime classes. So yeah, please think about when you're scheduling it. Also think about time in your life, like what is going on in your life in that next year, because you don't want to apply and be like, oh my gosh, my sister's wedding, my grandpa's funeral, like my brother's cat's dying. You know, you don't need all those things going on, because, you know, you have to think like, okay, who is is there a possibility someone very close to me could pass away? Of course, tragedies do happen, things do happen. Same thing happened with my father 2 years ago. He passed away from corona and pneumonia. And so, yeah, I mean, those things do happen suddenly and we don't expect it, and we think they're going to be okay, and the next thing you know, they're gone, and then you want to fly home for a funeral and you can't because you're tied to a contract. So, I mean, you can, but, that would put the school in a tough situation. Now, mind you, I do know usually for parents, schools have been known to be lenient and let the teachers go for at least a week. Or, I've even known some who flew there, went to the funeral, came right back. But I don't think that's okay. I don't like that. I really think they need to change that rule. If someone close to you and your family passes away, you get 2 weeks, a week to grieve. A week to arrange the burial and everything, and then that's your grieving period. Korea does very fast grieving period, 3 days or something, I think. And it's really, really tough for foreign teachers, because that's not what we do. So I don't think they really take that into consideration, but I do understand they have a business and they have students who need to be taught because they're also on a schedule. So that's kind of tough to go by. So, what are the perks to teaching with EPIK? So the perks with EPIK are so different from a Hagwon or something, because you get a settlement allowance with EPIK. They give you 300,000 won as a one-time payment, kind of just to help you, maybe catch up, because if you're spending so much money to buy things when you get here, to set up your thing, maybe say, oh, I need a calendar, I want notebooks, I want blankets, pillows, all these things. So you're dishing out that money. So that's kind of to keep you comfortable there. So thankfully my school, they had given it to me when I first got there, so I was able to shop right away. So that was nice. Your accommodation is provided, and that's usually for most schools in Korea. It's either a provided apartment or housing allowance. So your house can be different. So some people are just one person, they end up in a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom apartment. Some people end up in, actually I don't know if EPIK has any office tells, but I do know for other jobs like private academy or other just private public schools, they sometimes put teachers in office tells. So your utility and maintenance fees are for you. You have to pay those yourself. And then due to the difference in housing cost in different regions, the size and location of housing can be different. So you do get severance pay. This is literally every job in Korea, there's a severance pay, which is the same amount as your monthly payment. It equals 1 month's salary, and you get that at the end of the year, at the end of your contract. So if you're ending your contract, you're done working with them, you'll get your severance pay. So they're actually not supposed to pay you every year, but I know some schools do pay every year, and some teachers really love that. I actually really love that, even though I realized I lost money by doing that and accepting that. But I didn't realize until another teacher told me oh, you should wait, because they have to go by that monthly income of that year, your last year. So, I would have gotten a higher rate. So I missed out on a couple 100,000. So you also get entrance allowance and contract completion bonus and an extra allowance. So we do not get this at regular public schools or Hagwons. We don't get this kind of money. So all EPIK teachers are provided with 1.3 million won or 1,300 Korean won as an entrance allowance at the end of their first contract month. So people in Busan, Daegu, Jeju, Incheon, and Cheongbuk, they get it within the first 6 months of their contract, so it's a little bit different. And then the interest allowance, this is a loan from your school. So if in the first 6 months you leave, you dip out, you have to pay them back. So keep that in mind. And I really wanted to bring this up because I really want you to think about that. And that's why I said make sure you know what's going on in the scheduling, because I don't want you to be like, man, I just dished out this money. My family's in need. Now I need to go back home and I got to pay back this $1,300. So always do that after 6 months. No, but please, really don't do that. So a contract completion bonus of 1,300 Korean won is provided at the end of each contract period. And so interest allowance, contract completion bonus of 1,300. And then in Gangwon-do, that is an exit allowance when you complete your final contract. And then there's no completion contract for Seoul, Jeonju, Gyeonggi, and Daejeon, but there is an exit allowance. So just note, some of those places don't give you all that extra money. So think about where you want to go, if you want the extra coins or if you want to be in a certain location, because transportation is quite easy. You know, I did it from like a place 3 hours away. I took a bus into Seoul every weekend. So renewal bonus, which is also something we don't get in the regular schools or private academies. So renewal bonus of 700,000 won upon completion of each renewed contract. And then a 2 million Korean won renewal bonus is provided for Gyeonggi and Daejeon and divided into two payments, 1,300 at the start of the renewal contract and then 700,000 at the end of your renewed contract. Jeju Office of Education pays a flat rate of 1,300, 1.3 million renewal bonus at the start of the renewed contract. And guess what? Seoul Office of Education doesn't give you any of those goodies. And so I actually have been considering like, oh baby, should I just go to Gyeonggi-do, work in Gyeonggi-do for 2 years to get this extra coin? Like, it's very tempting. So when you are teaching with EPIK, you do have an EPIK orientation at the beginning as well. So do keep that in mind. And the EPIK orientation, it helps you train, like know how about living in Korea, teaching in Korea. You do like some subject area activities. In mine, we have like a Korean K-pop dance class that we got to do. They provide the lodging, they provide your meals. You don't have to worry about that. Don't have to worry about spending money for that, but you don't get paid for it. But it's mandatory. So you don't get paid for it, but it's mandatory. So don't worry about that. Like, things should be good on that. I can't remember if it's 1 or 2 weeks. Let me see if I can find that. Oh yeah, and there is an online pre-orientation as well, like something you have to go through, study, and then just answer some questions unless they changed it. Okay, so it's 8 days at the end of February or August, so twice a year, because it is because of the intake period. So if you want to teach in the fall, you have to apply in the spring, which is now, and if you want to teach in the spring, you have to apply in the fall. So if you're like, I want to come next spring 2024, then you have to apply in August of next year. And the applications actually open up a little bit earlier than the actual open date. So you want to keep checking a couple weeks before August 1st, because the applications could be open. So you could try to be one of the first people in. All right. And so how do you apply? That is a very important question. How do you apply? So you can actually just head over to the website. It is EPIK, EPIK.go, Go.krkr. And with that, you can click on the apply now button, and then you'll see like a little box, and you will see spring 2023 guide. That guide will tell you everything to help you figure out how to submit and fill out the application and submit those documents. So there are some things that you have to do. If you're like, okay, this is very challenging, I don't know if I can do this myself, don't worry, there is a Facebook group. There is a Facebook group for you. I actually don't know if this spring 2023 guide is right, because why would it say spring 2023? I feel like it should say fall 2023, because you wouldn't be doing your classes in spring. You have to, but I guess spring application, but you're applying for fall. Really confusing. But if you rather go through a recruiter, which you can, there are a lot of places, recruiters that say they hire for EPIK. So you may have seen that. But one of the most popular ones is Korean Horizons, and they're actually working with EPIK. EPIK has merged with them, not really merged with them, but they have joined hands and they are working together and to get more teachers on board with EPIK. So that is exciting. So guys, this application is open now. At least what I can see. I can see on here that it is, well, actually, yeah, the application, let me double check. Yes, it is open now, and you just create an account, but please make sure you read everything because, oh, yes. I don't know why. I think they messed up on this, what they're saying, because it says at this time we're proceeding with accepting applications for the spring 2023 term starting from August 1st. So maybe they're still hiring for spring, which is interesting. Yeah, I guess they still have it open for this month, which seems very strange because it said from August 1st. So I guess it's technically not open yet for the fall. Hey, but who knows, if you want to get in right now, if you have all your documents ready and you can dish out a lesson plan and you have your letters of recommendation, and you're like, I don't mind rushing and getting, my stuff in and interview and getting over there quickly, then go right ahead. All power to you. But yeah, anyways, guys, I hope that this helps. I hope this helps someone, and I wish you the best of luck working with EPIK. I will say that I did have a great experience with EPIK. I mean, there were some hiccups here and there in that world, but things all worked out for the best, and I had a great time. If you listen to my EPIK story time that will be coming out, then you will hear a couple of things that happened and kind of like an overview of my experience and my time through EPIK and how that went. But with all that said, guys, Gurjim Rin out. See you on the next one. Annyeong! Hey HoneyPots, thanks for listening. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, add us to your favorite podcast list. See you in the next one.